it is necessary to purge the establishment.
What she's suggesting that churches do, a focus on...
That's not necessarily a good thing to start with.
They're stating it wasn't around when we needed the greatest generation of the 30s or 40s or...
It happened before the election because there are too many Republicans that are afraid that their wrongdoings are going to...
It's unacceptable, and I'm not going to sit here, stay silent, and not call it out. I'm calling out the lies.
With rules for Thanksgiving, who the hell is he to tell us what we're supposed to do?
Do they think that we are so stupid that we will not notice and find out?
I am a raging patriot. Well, welcome to KSOK Uncensored. I appreciate you coming in for week 2. And I want to do a quick follow-up on the guest I had on last week. For those of you who tuned in, I had a recently retired law enforcement officer from the Chicago area. We just called him Chicago for the show. And he got a really cool tattoo today. I want to share it with you because it speaks to what we were talking about last week. IGY6, I got your 6, I got your back. So I thought that was pretty cool and worth sharing with y'all. He was a great guest, and we will have him on again at some point in time. Today we have who I would call a wild card guest. He is incredibly entertaining. I connected with him on TikTok over the summer when I first got started with the videos, and he is the mayor of a tiny town in Iowa, Fern, Iowa, and his name is Wade, mayor of Fern. Come on in, Wade.
Close to me. That's right, I'm the mayor. So if you're looking for an ass to kiss, it's mine. Hold on, sure, I'll come in, but just for a second. I'm the guy in charge of upholding the law around here, so if you have any ideas about turning me in, you'd just be turning me into myself. I was thinking this morning, and I don't want to tell you where I was thinking, but it was a small room in my house, and I was sitting down. Okay. Sorry, Johnny, I just had to reschedule my colonoscopy. So how you bowels? Good and tight? Yes.
So what I think of Schitt's Creek, that's what I think of when you tell me about the town that you're a mayor of. Am I spot on, or?
Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome to KSOK Uncensored. I appreciate you joining us. And
thanks for having me.
I'm excited. Talk to me. I want to know, how did you become the mayor of Fern, Iowa?
Yeah, that's a funny story. I moved here 7 years ago, and it is kind of the running joke. Fern is not actually a town. It was back in 1892 for about 15 years, but now it's an unincorporated town. And when I moved here, I said, everybody's like, "Oh, you're going to be the mayor of Fern?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And so I kind of ran with it and self-elected myself the mayor of this little town. Didn't tell anybody else about the election, of course. And then I started a Fern, City of Fern Facebook page, and kind of took off from there. Now we even have town celebrations. We have fireworks. We had a band 2 years ago.
I love that.
Yeah, and so people keep asking me about when the next election is. I said, when I decide to retire, I guess. I don't know.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Yeah, I didn't know quite that level of detail, so that's hysterical. So is it safe to say they don't have you on the payroll?
Yeah, well, yeah. I keep telling them, the mayor of Fern's mansion needs fixing up. I had AC problems. I said, we're going to have to raise taxes here in town because I got to have, I don't have a helicopter or anything. So I don't know what's going on with these citizens, but
Daddy needs nice things.
That's right. The mayor needs new shoes,
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Well, I want to play a fun game with you here, and it is a word association game because you are the perfect guest to do this with. Okay. So I'm going to say a word, or maybe two, joined, and you tell me first thing that comes to mind, unfiltered, as much as you can. Okay. Here we go. Corn.
Hole.
What?
Cornhole.
Oh, hole. I think you said old.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, no.
what is that? Cornhole, yes.
Cornhole, the game,
Classic.
you know? Yeah.
Ranch dressing.
Everything. That goes, yes, everything. That would be the word that goes with that.
Thank you so much for that, because you know what? I have to, in the middle of this game, I have to interject. I married a New Yorker, and they don't use ranch dressing in New York. I'm not even exaggerating. Like literally, they don't use ranch. You go to restaurants in New York, and I'm talking New York City, Long Island. I don't know about upstate. They don't use ranch dressing.
What?
And then they look down on you when you order ranch dressing. So
that's wrrong.
Yeah.
We use it. I mean, we use it like if you run out of soap here, we use ranch. So
yeah, I'm about on that level with you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Donald Trump.
Best president.
Yes. Awesome. Michelle Obama.
What was Big Mike?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there. What do you think of the term gender fluid?
I think that is, can't say that word. That's not PC. Stupid, I guess is about the nicest way I can put it.
There you go.
There's nothing fluid about genders or anything like that. So
would you agree there's two?
I would, yes, at least. Yeah, there's two.
Peaceful protest.
Is there such a thing?
Exactly. Oh, I guess in the leftist land there is. But I'm with you. That was fun. I'm going to dive into a few questions that I have here for you.
Okay.
But one, I truly don't know the answer to this. Is your family primarily conservative?
Probably about 99.9%. Yes. My brother is unfortunately mentally challenged liberally. So yeah, we stay away from politics when we talk with the family, with him anyway.
Right. That is exactly what my guest last week. It's his brother that they just have to avoid that topic altogether.
Yeah. We have Marco Polo every day, me and my family. And every once in a while it slips up, you know, I'll say something, of course. I don't usually watch what I say too much, but then my brother will come in and he say, I thought we weren't talking politics. I'm like,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know what? We're not perfect. We slip up. And it's exhausting to have to filter and tiptoe around the topic when it's so front and center right now.
Right.
It's physically and mentally exhausting.
You can't go through life worried about hurting someone's feelings with everything you say. It's like, You know what? Your feelings are hurt. You know, like somebody said, what happened to sticks and stones might break your bones, but your words will never hurt me. You know, whatever happened to that, I don't know, but.
Right. Yep. That went out the window a few decades ago, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. No, that's interesting to know, because that is a big deal with a lot of families where they aren't able to have just general conversations, and it's incredibly stressful. There are so many families that they don't talk, especially right now, and there's divided households. And so I'm in the same boat with you. I have one in the family on both sides. I'm very lucky, but
But you also have an awesome, pretty awesome sister, though. That
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get her on here.
yeah, you do need to get her on there. Yes.
We have to see if she can avoid using the F word though,
Oh,
because that is like every other word for her.
Don't you have like the little beeper button, like beep, beep, beep,
Oh
like
my
every time she
gosh,
cusses?
Juan would be exhausted.
Juan with that purple tunnel, he'd have like a hook finger.
Oh my gosh, seriously. Yeah, we need to like zap her or something. But no, that even one of the bridesmaids, she got married in September, and one of the bridesmaids, as you know, they say their vows. I'm standing up there. I was one of the bridesmaids also, and she's like, F yeah, for my sister. And I'm like, oh my gosh, was that necessary? My goodness.
I'd expect nothing less from your sister's wedding, though.
Oh my gosh. I was like, in my side of the family, they're a little, let's just say a little more polished. And so it's a little,
yeah.
it was a little shocking for everybody.
I understand that. My parents are a pretty old school Christian family, you know. They put up with me, but that's about as far as they go, you know.
Yeah.
I even polish myself up for them. You know, I try to keep it somewhat clean sometimes.
Right. No, I have to do the same thing. It's funny. Well, I want to pivot into, I have a few questions here for you, and we can just talk about it. But so one, something I actually don't know. Are you a union worker?
I actually am, yes.
I thought you were. Okay, I wasn't 100%. So I want to gather your thoughts on day one, Biden was inaugurated and he cancels the Keystone Pipeline. So what is that? 8,000 union jobs and 11,000 jobs in total. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know why the left continues to fight that pipeline. I don't understand if that, you know, you hear the things about, well, Warren Buffett owns some trucking company or something, and he's going to lose billions of dollars if this pipeline goes in. But you know, you would think the unions would eventually wake up to the left doesn't really care about them.
Right.
And I know when my union, which I didn't really want to join, I always said I'll never join a union, but peer pressure, everything else, you know, I was trying to actually be a nice guy because their union dues would be cheaper if I both joined and all this and that. So I was like, I don't care, whatever. But I told the guy, I said, I don't want any of my union dues going to any Democrat, whatever. Right. He kind of was like, well, okay. And, you know.
Yep. Pleasantries.
Right. That whole thing is ridiculous. They always want to be progressive, but yet they're regressing on our energy. So,
right.
Yeah, I haven't seen him do anything good yet in whatever how many days he's been in office.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. Yeah, I thought you'd have an opinion on that because it's just an impossible position for both sides to be in. So it's really, really upsetting. You know, they say, oh, just go get another job. Okay. You know, I saw something posted today and it was like, how about tell all those teachers that are afraid to go back to the classroom, tell all of them just to go get another job if they're so afraid to go back to the classroom. And kids.
Well, I was watching the news. I was watching OAN or something. I don't know. Anyway, they had a thing about Kamala screwing up some speech in West Virginia today about coal miners, telling coal miners that instead of working in the coal mines, they could go and I think she had a gaffe, and she said, well, you can go and find landmines. They're like, oh, that's.
She probably means it deep down.
Yeah, she probably really does. Yeah. Just go blow yourself up.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I love those little bloopers. Those are especially.
Yeah, they're going to be riddled in this. next 4 years, it's going to be,
Oh God.
there's going to be a lot of those.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What do you think about the BLM movement being nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize? I mean, does that make any sense?
I hadn't heard that. I might have to soak that one in a little bit.
I know. It's like, at least for me, when I think of the Black Lives Matter movement, I think of all of the cities that are just, they look like third world countries. They look like they've been bombed and burned down. And especially being here in Portland, I mean, I've driven around and seen what the city looks like after these continued protests and riots night after night. And it just absolutely, I shouldn't even say it blows my mind anymore. I mean, really nothing blows my mind anymore that comes from the left. It's all asinine. But something that has the word peace and a peace prize, it's the complete polar opposite. I saw that the other day. I'm like, oh my dear Lord, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that does not Peace Prize, and I mean, just give it to Trump already, because he actually did make some peace.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's quit segregating Black people, and quit giving them, prizes and stuff for doing things that are not right.
Right.
I know I get myself in trouble all the time talking about this subject. My daughter is mixed, and sometimes she even looks at me like, "What? Okay, Dad." And I'm like, "But you can't. I can't say that word either. I can't tiptoe. I'm not gonna tiptoe my opinion on this subject, because
right.
That's not who I am. So I'm just going to tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, there's a lot of people that agree with me. Like, what's the guys on TikTok? I can't remember their names right now, but they think the same way. It's like, Candace Owens says the same thing. Like, I don't need a hand me down, or I don't need all this other stuff. You don't give me a prize just because we're a leftist group.
Right. I will say it is so refreshing when I know what you're talking about, because I've seen videos, Black men who are saying that's offensive, actually, that we are being coddled. And it's, especially in June when everything really took off, it was really refreshing to hear that point of view, because it's, if you watch the mainstream media, which I don't any longer, but I was at that point, and it was I had no hope. I had no hope for society. And then I was on TikTok, and I was seeing these real people that don't have any objective outside of getting the truth out there. And I was so refreshed that common sense was still well and alive. Alive and well, excuse me.
Well, and Morgan Freeman, of all people, has said in the past, hey, I don't need Black History Month. Don't call me Black. I'm Morgan Freeman.
Right.
Treat me as a person, not my skin color. And that's what we need to be doing, instead of saying, hey, well, you're Black Lives Matter, let's give you a Nobel Peace Prize so that you are happy.
Right. I know. I completely agree. And, speaking of your daughter earlier, it is so important for us as parents to be transparent with our kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old, and obviously I have to filter, but I am very transparent on what's happening in the world today, within reason, obviously. But they know where I stand, and I always give the why behind it, because I want them to think through. And it's pretty amazing. My son, my 6-year-old son, he's actually more into it than my 10-year-old daughter is, but he's able to really put the concepts together and understand what's happening. And if we don't do that as parents, and we allow these schools, even virtually, I overhear what the teacher is saying, we can't allow the schools to have these difficult conversations with the kids because it's just a liberal factory. So, so it's good. It's good. I feel that it's good that you have transparent conversation with your daughter about the subject.
Yeah, me and my daughter don't hold much back from each other. She's 21, so you know she's got her dad's no filter too. So
well, good. That's good. That'll get her far in life. You have to be tough these days. You really do.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm going to move on to what. Okay, so I don't know if you saw this, but recently we all know that Biden's press secretary is a you-know-what show, and she's the circle back. Let me circle back with you on that. I mean, she gives too much. It's like a comedic dream, but because she can't handle the questions that are being asked of her, they are talking. There are talks about moving away from the typical press conferences. So they're talking about, one, moving away from that traditional setting. Two, they want questions from the media sources in advance. And three, they're talking about limiting the amount of conservative media outlets at these events.
Oh,
so
really?
If that doesn't send a message of in being completely incompetent, I don't know what does.
Well, and it's funny you brought her up because I was watching her today, and she had a pretty good brain fart. She was trying to think of something, and she just sat there awkwardly for a minute. She's, I can't think of the word. I'm like, man, is this Biden's relative or who is this woman up here?
A little nepotism.
Yeah, and then somebody must say, just if you can't think of something, just say circle back. You know, like
yeah.
Wow.
She should just do this from now on.
I'm gonna
circle and wrap.
Oh man, I'll get it.
Yeah, she's something else. And I didn't know this, but one of my followers on Instagram told me that she'd had some role on the Obama administration. So, and apparently she wasn't good then either.
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe she was Michael's wardrobe person. Who knows?
Probably.
Hey, Michael.
Big Mike.
Yeah, Big Mike. She that whole thing with that, whatever happened to, they had a big thing with Trump. They freaked out when he was talking about moving the press conference or the press room out or away or, limiting, and oh my goodness, they're freaking out. And now it sounds like they want to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And his was like, it's funny. People talk about that Trump was trying to control that, because I thought of that very thing, and it's like, yeah, if everything you said was cut and turned against you, taken out of context, you would be wanting to limit who you have in there also.
Right.
Yeah, so it's definitely
well, I would like to go back to let's go back to the way the press was dealt with in the history, where the press secretary would come out, report the news of the day, there was no questions asked, and then he went back to his office. That was it. And they were just in the lobby. There was no press room. I mean,
right. No, you're right. I'm like visualizing that now. Yeah, it's been a while, but
yeah, well, yeah.
They can't handle that now. That's for sure.
No, they gotta know your t-shirt size and what.
I love that. Yeah. No, it's out of control. Well, I just found that I don't know if you've been hearing about these hotel occupations that Antifa likes to do, especially here in the Pacific Northwest. But this past Sunday, and this isn't the first or the last time they're going to do it, but apparently they're fighting homelessness, and they're doing it by renting a bunch of rooms at a hotel, and then they don't leave. So they end up, let's say this happened on Christmas Eve. They rented 16 rooms, and they said for one night, and then they just camped out. And I believe they were there 6 nights, and only 1 night was paid for, and they refused to leave. Police had to get involved. Well, this happened again, and they say they're fighting homelessness, but we all know that they're not. They're being paid by the left to wreak havoc and to end law and order as we know it. And I wish that more people could see that that is the true reason for this. They're not good Samaritans trying to help out the homeless folks. So
yeah, they're not there to help anybody except for the left, of course. They're trying to run their own propaganda. Who knows who owns those hotels? You got to kind of look into that too.
yeah,
It's I'm so sick of them. I mean,
I know.
you know, the right comes up with a group to fight them, the Proud Boys, and then all of a sudden the Proud Boys get slandered in the media and everywhere. Even made me second guess, you know, looking into them when I was like, you know,
Right.
it's pretty bad. I don't.
That's their objective.
Yes.
That's the objective. And it's like the leader is not a white guy. It's
No.
so like, oh, they're white supremacy. The leader is not white. I mean, it's just, it's maddening.
Yes.
All right. So Wade, mayor of Fern, where can we find you?
Well, Mayor Fern, I am on TikTok, but come and look up the City of Fern on Facebook.
All right.
Just look that up, and you can find all you want to know about the City of Fern.
Right. Sounds enthralling. I will seek you out. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on here.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. You take care.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye. If you want more KSOK, which I know you do, come and find me. You know I'm on TikTok, Lower 48, KSOK Lower 48. I do a video almost every day. And I'm also on YouTube, KSOK Lower 48, and Instagram, KSOK.Lower48. With Instagram, I get to interact with you the most as I share stories. And so you get to see a little peek behind the scenes, and you get to know me better. I look forward to interacting with you. I am a raging patriot.